Welcome to my weekly spiel. Welcome to my weekly spiel. Yada yada blah blah blah. Yada yada blah blah blah. It's time for Margaret's weekly spiel. Greetings and salutations. This is Margaret Franklin of Margaret Franklin Creations, and it is the 4th of June already. Gordon Bennett, where does the time go? Anyway, as you can see, I am almost finished the pandemic quilt. And this is my final design. This is the only design that I did not loaderize off the internet. This is my own design. This is my character, Luella Snuggle Bunny, riding on a blue unicorn with a roll of toilet paper on its horn. That is my official pandemic mascot, my official symbol of empathy and compassion. Like, you've probably heard about my blue unicorn campaign back in November when I started making them, long before this pandemic was even thought of. A blue unicorn is a gift for someone who's going through the same situation. And I have my two frames here together because I took a picture so I can tell my Quilters Guild about my hack. I have told you before that I've mentioned how you can either buy an 11 by 17 or a 17 by 17. I prefer a smaller frame. So when my old frame was starting to fall apart, I think one of these outer sleeves got cracked to oblivion. So I took the bars from the smaller frame, or the smaller ends, and put them together. So I have a smaller frame, and that way I'm not disgruntled with all the bunching up that the back of the quilt tends to do when I'm working with a larger frame. So I can do a smaller area at a time. It may be a bit more time consuming having to take these off and move them more often, but I have a smoother backing. And speaking of backing, believe it or not, I have all this fabric left from when my mom passed away. When I went to her place to help myself to a bunch of her stuff, there was like a huge bolt of this yellow gingham fabric, and I got a lot of mileage out of that. I've gotten 2 larger quilts done with this, and there was exactly enough to do the back of this here quilt. And this is one of my favorite squares, the Quarantini with all the colorful flowers. That must have taken an entire week. And there's still a piece of this yellow checked fabric left. And I got back to work on my Canada quilt. There's like this tiny little area left. And then I gotta outline a bunch of stuff. And I think I'm gonna put some maple leaf fabric around the edge of this square. And that'll be the start of the 4th row. Can I get this done by September? Because September I'm supposed to have a show at Lakeridge at the psychiatric hospital in Whitby. They have a big art gallery room where they've had stuff on display before, and I've told them that I am autistic and bipolar, and can I exhibit my work at their gallery? And they said sure, and we agreed on September. Haven't heard much else since. I hope nothing has changed due to the pandemic. And I've also been embroidering quilt squares from my second comic book coloring book, Once Around Is Never Enough. We have here Luella doing her sewing with, it says, "The biggest lie I tell myself is that I won't buy any more fabric until I use up what I already have." This is going to take a lot of time, a lot of detail here. All these different fabric designs. Here we have watermelons, we got paisley, we got carousel horses, moons and stars, unicorn heads, mushrooms, lilacs, mermaids, and what do you call these birds again? Flamingos. And music, pineapples, ukuleles, flying pigs. You name it, I got it. This is going to be a lot of fun to finish when the time comes. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm hoping that sometime next week I will have my new coloring books available at Mosaic Creative. I'll be able to pick up some pay. I don't know how much I've earned this month. Last month I made $160 at least. Well, I netted in a good about 190 altogether, because in April I sold 16 unicorns, and in previous months I sold I think an elephant, a unicorn, and a zebra. People are finally starting to notice my work there thanks to the online store, and I hope and pray that the business keeps up. Things should be gradually getting back to normal, and I'm I'm in good spirits today. It's been an emotional roller coaster. The night before last night, did anyone else see that huge lightning storm? Well, if you go to my YouTube account or follow me on my Facebook page, like my personal page, and my groups, the new Margaret Franklin Creations and the what do you call it? The groups, the new Franklin Creations, and people who actually recover from coronavirus. You will see links to that lightning storm. I honestly thought it was the end of the world. I was scared and I wasn't scared. I thought, nothing surprises me. If the world ends, I'm okay with it, because we get tired of the uncertainty. I know I've ranted and I vented in my Facebook group, and this jerk mouthed it off at me, so I blocked and unfriended him. Same jerk mouthed it off at my friend Lisa, and the less said about him, the better. I'm moving on with my life, and he can just go. I would say something, but this video is for everyone. I usually say yes, it's for kids, because you don't just upload a video anymore. You have to go jump through all these hoops with Windows 11 or whatever. Anyway, I guess that's all I have to say for the moment. Yes, I know my hair looks terrible. I got 3 boxes of Splat under this ink, but I just haven't had any desire to repurple my hair until I know I'm going to be going out more often and socializing more. These little piggies are also due for a pedicure. I haven't painted them in a long time. Can't really be bothered if I'm not going out much, just haven't felt like it. But when it's time to go out more often and more things are open, I'll spruce up a bit more, and I'm looking forward to going to Fabricland one of these days, getting more fabric, like this kind of stuff, the broadcloth, because I have very little pink left, and I know I have very little white, if any, because I want to use like more pastel colored backgrounds for the coloring book quilts that I make for tracing. And I still have a backlog of ideas. That's the only thing that doesn't bother me about my pandemic is that I know I'm not bored, because I've got a backlog of projects. I could never be bored. Anyway, that is all for now. Thanks for watching Weekly Spiel. Bye-bye. Be back soon.